Hello everybody, I go by the moniker Original Tanksta, and I'm here to express a concern about everyone's favorite warframe, Obi-Ron. My concern started with a healthy curiosity about this feature right here. As you can see, by lowering the duration, it increases the energy drain per second, increases the amount of time that players receive health, and decreases the bleed out slow percentage. Now, the increase to heal time should not be misconstrued as an increase in the amount of health gained. That number is represented here. Out of curiosity, I wanted to know if Obi-Ron could completely negate bleed out timers. As it turns out, he can. If you reach an excess of 223% in power duration, you will achieve 100% bleed out slow. Thankfully, I was lucky enough to be able to hit exactly 222%. So I will get to show you what that does in this video as well. Alright, so here we are at Draco. I will be showing you the 222% duration Obi-Ron. As you can see, my comrade goes down. I am casting Renewal. And there we go. 279.59. So initially I believed that that was 279 minutes 59 seconds, but then I realized upon rewatching this that that was the 59 did not move, so it was actually 279 hours 59 minutes and presumably 59 seconds, because the maximum amount of time that we can bleed out in Warframe is 280 hours, or 11 days, closer to almost 12 days. That really bothered me because of something else that happened in that clip that you will see after this Chroma attempts to kill himself, which I thought was pretty funny, so I included it. Big thank you to Wide Eye Now for attempting to kill a Chroma. So, coming up briefly will be the footage of the second thing that bothered me about the 280-hour bleed out timer. So, I remember earlier I spoke about the heal time, and as you can see now, when Wide Eye Now gets hit, he has 4 seconds of the 152-hour, 13-minute bleed-out timer. So there's really no point in slowing down the bleed-out. I believe I hit him and pop him up to 29 hours when he was at 1 second, and then promptly go down. But it really bothers me that this kind of an issue could be present in the skill. Up next, we'll see what happens with a 20% duration. This is a 9% bleed out slow that bumps him from 14 to 15, but now this one lasts for 50 seconds. And that's just, it's so pointless when you look at the skill for that feature. When you look at it for everything else that it does, with giving you an initial heal and then giving you health over time, lowering the duration, lets you get less health per second, but it lasts longer. So my friend Artster Science that I just revived, he actually has an Obi-Ron build that he uses that runs on it is way down there in the duration. I'm not actually sure how low it is. I know that his transient fortitude is maxed out along with his fleeting expertise, so that he can sit there with his high power strength and be regenning health really quickly. And he'll put on a rage so that the regenning health can be knocked down and give him more energy to feed regenerating his health. Here in this clip, this is the last clip, and it is a 250% duration Obi-Ron build, which completely turned off the bleed out timer. However, this one only lasts for 3 seconds, I believe it was, 3 seconds. And, you know, if the skill just did that, what it does right now with a 250% duration, that would be spectacular. If they rework Obi-Ron and they end up leaving Renewal the way it is, that is the only thing that I would like to see changed, is that instead of it being a removal or a percentage check of the bleed out timer, that it just removes the bleed out timer for the length of the heal time and still has the channel duration energy cost. But in the end of the day, what still bothers me is that they released him and he's been like this, and that I have not seen anyone really address that topic. I'm understanding only because that part of the skill is so situational to stop a bleed out timer. Even if it is stopping a bleed out timer for 4 seconds, that can still give you enough time to catch up to somebody and pick them up before they use a revive, lose out on some affinity. It really just helps you carry your teammates. So I'm going to leave you with that so that everyone can think about it, because I think Obi-Ron is a great frame. I really like his design. I like the mythos behind him. I think that the Celtic fairy myths are really cool, and you should take some time to look them up if you haven't already. Kind of gives you more of an insight into the character that Digital Extremes has given to us. But I'm going to close out this video with finishing this exterminate for Nightane alert, because Nightane is very important and everyone needs Nightane. Gotta get it. But at the end of the video, I will put up 3 different builds that I run with Obi-Ron. The kind of solo tankish build that I run with about middle duration, a high duration range build that I use for complementing defense, because Herald Ground is actually way more useful than the skill description lets on, by completely debuffing allies and negating all statuses. The Arzen Eximus that has the big fire explosion that knocks people back, you're immune to the knockdown. You'll still fly up in the air and it looks kind of funny. Scorpions hitting you with their whips, immune to the knockdown, so they just kind of hit you and then stand there with their whip in their hand. It'll negate blast proc, electric proc, viral proc. For the Vazarin polluted waters, if you put down a Herald Ground when you revive everyone, as long as they're on the Herald Ground when they get revived, it will get rid of the viral and the magnetic proc. Mission complete. Excellent work. And, you know, I just think that he's a really cool frame, if only for Herald Ground. The Reckoning blinds people within a radius around him. In addition to radiation proccing everything that it touches, like a poor man's chaos. The Smite also causes radiation proc and puncture proc. Again, mild crowd control. If you radiation proc an Eximus, other people shoot the Eximus. So this first build I use just for being by myself. I have my own personal Herald Ground, nothing really special. This build I use to spam Reckoning and to keep the Herald Ground down for the status immunity, and Reckoning for the crowd control. and this build is just more like a tanky, also Reckoning spam build. I didn't say that I was very original. So thank you all for watching this. Please leave any kind of comments to let me know how my commentary is, if there's something I need to change for you. I'm very new to this, and I appreciate all feedback. Thank you, Tenno, and have a great time out there in the stars.